Okay, apologies for being so late, which is kind of normal for me, but today was a little different. Okay, let's move this up a little bit. Just the hair. Does that work? I think that works. Oh, you know what? Forgot. Light. The extra light. Okay. Honestly, I could have this in mostly in dark if I wanted to. Actually, here, let's do this. I don't want it to cut off the top of my head a little bit. Um, anyways, so today I'm gonna when I'm done in the afternoon, I'm gonna be at normal time. I'm about 15 minutes late, which is I it's not too bad honestly, but I'm actually going to take my break at 1:30 my time. So so an hour and a half. So I got an extra 15 minutes, I guess. Um, and then 1:30 to 2:30, and then 2:30 I'll come back and I'll do about an hour after that. I'm still trying to decide if. Hold on, let me check each of these. There's probably nobody in here. One view. That means somebody popped in and popped back out again. That's all right. I mean, I don't blame them. Well, don't blame anyone, obviously, but dang it, stupid. At least Twitch's um uh okay, just making sure that that's the banning is working. Just ban them whenever they come up with this. There's usually some spam dealy that wants me to go to a certain website, and Kick wasn't really working at first, but eventually I guess it learned or something. I don't know. It's I haven't seen a spam from Kick for ages. Although maybe there's not that many people that come into Kick, still. Okay, so thank you for whoever two people in Kick, and thank you for one person in Twitch, and nobody in YouTube or. Anyways, doesn't really matter. Um, 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 um. Nick, Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon. Okay, sorry. Uh, I'm one of the few people that never liked You Can't Do That on television, especially because of all the gross stuff that they did in that. I mean, slime, yeah, the slime part was, but then they had the cook. Cook is always picking his nose or whatever, and this it really, I don't know, I guess some kids probably thought it felt edgy, so they liked it or whatever. But to me, I always thought it was disgusting, and I don't like watching disgusting things, so I didn't like that very much. Anywho, the Taster Toolkit, free at last. Uh, okay, so let me pull up the right deals here. Okay, so let's go to favorites, and then we'll open design documents in a new tab, and I'll wait to load up uh any AI stuff or any you know the actual project or anything. I'll wait. Okay, so let's go back to chapter 8. I really kind of wish I could just knock these out like nobody's business or whatever. But truth is, I can't really do that. into the wine cellar. Open with text editor. Okay, into the wine cellar. Now we have that complete. Within the passage near the stairs, dimly illuminated by some torches. Went in. Okay, so then free at last. As I went down, you can see they already an error in there. They could see fairly well from the torches. However, there were numerous cobwebs, dust everywhere, which suggested it hadn't been used in a while. So this is the other thing about the writing. About AI, I should say specifically. Um, I don't know if anybody's going to be listening or anything like that. Like you catch on the VOD, or even if you're watching live right now and you have the ability to chat in any of the chat um, video chats. You can uh, you can discuss it with me or whatever. But sometimes when I'm pasting the page into the AI will come back and say, "Well, you got this misspelling. This would be stronger if you did this," and that sort of thing. And I've been kind of taking those suggestions, and they've been kind of working. When I see a video where they use AI to write the script, what always happens? They always have the catchphrases like, it's not just this, it's this, or and here's the twist, um, um, what's the other thing? Anyways, there's several things that always pop up in AI generated scripts, and then the also the real bad thing is that they always repeat themselves, and apparently anybody that actually gets the AI to write their videos or their text or whatever doesn't seem to proofread them. I guess they don't seem to go through them, and so they end up like repeating themselves like over and over again. Sometimes many times, sometimes just twice. It's quite annoying. But I keep thinking that I could run each of the pages through the AI. In fact, I could actually, in order to keep, in order to actually keep to keep rain on it, to keep it from sounding too AI-ish, I'd have to go manually inspect each page, each deal, or essentially manually sign off on the rewrites. I can actually get Grok Build to do that, so I might actually do that in the long run. I might have it go and say, I want you to go through each of the these narrative pages, and I want you to correct the spelling, and I want you to correct punctuation, wherever I have the wrong punctuation and stuff. Don't change anything else. I'll just do that, like a proofreading, right? Just a standard proofreading, and then I don't know how to work lines. Might have to do it by characters because I got word wrap on, right? And I'm essentially writing these paragraphs. Paragraphs. In other words, I'm not writing these like sentences. Now, the longer I stretch this out, you can't even see it off the screen here. The longer these paragraphs become, right? They're not individual sentences terminated by a carriage return or a new line. So I might have to judge by actual character count. Say, keep it, rewrite it to where it fits to under this character count, kind of thing. And I might do that, might not do that. I don't know. This is some of the stuff that um, that this is not live here. Put this live, and even put this live. Okay. And these update actually. Twitch and Kick aren't really meant for VODs, I guess. I don't know if they have VODs at all, but my guess is that they didn't, or my thought is that they didn't. Anyways, so I might have an AI go over everything. It won't be completely unsupervised though. I'll have it. Yeah, and you know what I might do? No, I don't know if I'll do that or not. Anyways, just do like a basic proofreading, and this is something that it should be able to do. I was watching a video about jobs you could do from home, or at least that didn't need a degree. Because I'm still looking just in case I find something that where it's just like, oh, I know that exactly how to do that, and I get it, find some work, some online thing that I'm suited for, which I don't know if I'm suited for anything, but it was mentioning tech writing, and it was saying that tech writing is really good because they always need tech writers. Not that that they're so desperate that they're willing to pay everything, but that it's a good business to get into because they need to do that. But I just thought for a second and went, you know, AI is kind of already doing some of that. I mean, maybe it's not perfect yet, still yet. I mean, it still might need a couple generations more before it actually becomes really, really viable. But that's really close. Stuff like copywriting and tech writing and basically a lot of writing stuff where it's just basically get the research and put the stuff down. AI is going to be able to do it pretty much, and they won't need to hire out anymore. It might be lucrative right now, but it won't be in a short period of time. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe at the most 5 years, but certainly not more than 5 years, right? Anywho, let's see here. As they went down, they could see fairly well from the torches. However, there were numerous cobwebs and dust everywhere, uh, which suggested it hadn't been used in a while. I wonder how long these torches have been burning. Is this some sort of magic? Asked John. Don't be silly, my boy. We don't always have to use magic for certain, shall we say, modern conveniences. No, this very mechanism is much like your matchsticks. Some material on the torch and some on the wall behind, when struck together, burn. Most likely happened when the secret door was opened. The passage went down and went around to the right until they were completely turned around the other way. As they approached the wall, the hallway widened out and terminated in a small room, enough to fit a few people side by side. After they were standing there a minute or two, they saw a door in front of them with a small slit, halfway peered inside. He could see some of the tables with cheese and some empty glasses and a few other items that suggested it was a tasting alcove. Um, I'm not as young as I used to be, so do you think he could manage to pull that door open? John looked into the slit and noticed that the guard was a ways down the corridor. Must be the same guard we saw in the window. Okay, I'll give it a shot. John started pulling the handle, but to his surprise, it swung inward easily. Both halfway, John stepped through and then quietly pulled the door back to themselves. Going past, I need to describe. It's an extra sentence here, but I need to add a little slight description here. Uh, um, Step through. Um, let's just put it step through. Okay. Um, on the other side of the door was a wine rack, apparently attached to it in order to obscure the passage. And we'll just say they quietly pulled the door. No, no, no. Oh. Swung inward, right? Swung inward. Swung inward. But okay. Quietly pulled the door back toward themselves. But past one of the tables, John noticed a particularly heavy-looking bottle and picked it up. The guy was looking around, but he was facing the wrong direction. John snuck up and clobbered him with the bottle. The guard fell down in a lifeless heap. Did I kill him? Halfway bent over the body and checked him out and replied, "Luckily, you didn't hit him that hard. But I won't envy the headache he'll have in them when he awakens." Oh, good. I don't want that on my conscience, even if he even if he is a bad guy. Turning toward their left, the princess was uh, sitting leaned up against a wine cask and chain there with shackles on her hands. She had apparently dozed off. John took a good look. Hey, she's beautiful, he exclaimed. Of course she is. She's Princess Karen Elspeth from the realm of Verdus. We need to wake her quietly. Now, what do I say? Oh, okay. So I even though I counted that as a finished page, it wasn't actually a finished page. I need to figure out how to set up the. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the AI. I know a lot of you guys don't like me. The few of you that actually watch me don't like me using the AI so much, but hey, I'm trying to get this done, and this is a tool that's helping me get it done, right? Okay, so let's pull this up. Um, let's actually make this larger a little bit. Today is Monday, July 20th, 2026. Most of the free at last edited text on Friday, but I still have to put up the choices and trying to figure how to calculate. Make sure it's saved. 008. Okay. It's 08 to page. Oop. PG00. Free at last. TXT in the Enchanted Lands design notes slash iterative pages folder. Read over that briefly and give me some ideas on how to state the options. I mean, aside from the actual hit 1, 2, blah, blah. I don't necessarily need to enumerate each option in the description, but what do I lead with? It could be a dialogue line, maybe just something as simple as let's see, me look these shackles. Look at these shackles, or something. Just ideas. I'm just using ideas basically. Let it look at the thing. I'm supposed to, about 80% is supposed to trigger compact. So I'll I'll let it trigger the compact when it gets there. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Your pro stops right before the fork guard down. She's dozing in shackles. Typo. Shackles. I'll fix that. John starstruck. You need a short bridge. Wake her. Look at the locks. Offer 3 approaches. You don't have to list all 3 in dialogue. A lead in that hit plus hit lines is enough, like special delivery. Simple physical, your instinct. Quite practical, no speech defying. I work as gently as I could. She blinked, started to speak, and John put a finger to his lips, halfway crouched by her wrist. Let me look at these shackles. Actually, I like that. I mean, that's actually what I was just thinking of, kind of doing anyways. Then hits only. Uh, John wants mundane, halfway offers magic. It's got to be a key. Let's use the tools or the magic sometimes. Shall we try the tools and unlock or something more aggressive? She prompts it. Princess Agency. The keys are with Barty, she whispered. You'll have to break them or pick them quietly. Tools unlocked. Jared attempt to unmake the metal. Choose wisely. Minimal narrator. The shackles were locked tight. They had 3 ways to free her. Given the scene, John smitten, halfway cautious, half magic already established. They woke her carefully. She opened her mouth to cry out in relief. John shook his head, held a finger to his lips. Halfway knelt, turned her wrist so that the locks caught the torchlight. Okay. Let me look at these shackles, he whispered. We can try tools from the tasting tables. I can attempt to unlock, though you know how my magic is, or I can try to disintegrate the metal. What do you say? That lightly previews all 3 without a menu dump. Hits can stay short. I almost should put it like this. I usually couch it in a narrative in itself. In other words, like what they said. I hit 1 to have John search for tools. Hit 2 for halfway to try an unlock spell. Hit 3 for halfway to attempt to disintegrate the shackles. Disintegrate. If you want even leaner, only 1 dialogue line. Let me look at these shackles. Halfway whispered. Hits carry the whole choice. Totally fine for choose your own adventure. She recognizes it from your dump. Um, hmm. Let's see. Do you foresee this becoming a problem in later versions? Say my complete text adventure version, or even the graphic version. A serious problem if you treat this page as a pro. That always. Okay, let's see. Yeah, because I might do this more. I might just decide that every choice should be like this. It should be like a 1 line, and just let the choices themselves define what the choices are, or have them say something because, yeah. In fact, it's probably better that I don't have them explain the choices because I might completely do something different. Yeah, see, my bit rate is lagging now again. And we're not even. I mean, it might be cloudy. That might be the deal. I might have to turn off the dynamic bit rate. Although what it means is it'll it'll start dropping frames and it'll get chunky and kind of jerky and stuff. But maybe I should just do that. I don't know. I say there's probably truth. This page is a pearl that always rejoins, which is currently how you design phase one. It only gets awkward if later systems expect one true solution or inventory state you never tracked. 3 flavors of the same when free princess fine. It becomes multiple valid verbs, unlock shackles, pick lock, cast disintegrate, maybe use corkscrew on shackles. All can work. Half magic can still partially fail and fall back. There 3 hotspot interactions are spell menu plus use item on shackles, same pearl. So the triple option doesn't fight later phases. It's actually good prep for multi-solution puzzles. What can be remembered about all paths identical after the choice. Prime for choose your own adventure later. You may want light consequences, noise, leftover shackle, halfway tired, optional, not required. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I just tweak it at that point. Tools appear from nowhere. For tools and tables, tetrographic tables need objects that exist in the world. You already have that in chapter 5 and 8. Just place them in the alcove as real items when you build the inventory. Magic is a free win button. If every lock is halfway cast unlock, later phases get dull. Here you find half magic partially fails, so unlock disintegrate say character full, not a skeleton key forever. Exclusive branches that never merge. Your design does merge. Exit kitchen chase. That's what scales. Dead end or permanently exclusive only tools ever. Dialogue that hard codes hit 1, 2, 3. What do you say? Nobody hits as choose your own adventure UI later. Some content, different interface. Parse or click. Write the fiction so that it still works if the player types pick shackles instead of hit 1. String of pearls. Choice of how, not whether. Half magic unpredictability, great for later systems, mundane tools in the environment, inventory gold. What to avoid, locking forever in prose. Except the 3 ways and only these 3 forever. Yeah. Tools that exist only in that one choice paragraph and nowhere in the room. Hubert versus halfway, naming inconsistency. Yeah. I'll do the cleanup if I haven't already. I don't think I wrote Hubert in there. I might have though, but I don't think I did. So let's just say that I didn't. Okay, and alrighty then. We got we got 1 person in Rumble. Thank you, Rumble viewer or listener. We have 1 viewer in Twitch. Thank you, and we got 2 viewers in Kick. Thank you very much. And feel free, as if you guys got accounts, feel free to say something, say hi or whatever. I don't actually know if those as far as I know, all the viewers could just be bots too, right? I don't get that many viewers, but they could also just be bots for whatever reason. Although usually the bots or usually the spam stuff only happens like once they arrive, and then I usually hit I usually hit the ban, and it's usually on Twitch because Kick doesn't seem to provide any more spammers there somehow. Oh, I missed Rook. He's going home though, of course. Okay. Uh. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So really, I'm looking into the rest of the narrative pass. I should probably not offer choices in the actual narrative, in the actual prose. So that it's not just this beat from here on out. I can treat every description, every narrative page the same way, and not really for any suggestions, but have it purely be from the choices. When we get to graphic adventure, there will be items that you can pick up, and that might be a good reason to at least suggest a few options in the actual prose, as it can give hints. And maybe I should just think of it that way, so that later on I can decide what's how much to reveal and how much to not reveal. So always there's the option of magic whenever there's a wizard present. And sometimes wolves nearby. So the default recommended rule for the rest of the narrative: pass. Prose, situation, character, what's in the world. Hits the explicit menu. Don't write the page as a numbered menu inside the story. Do leave enough world that later systems and careful players can infer options. Block looks pickable, right? Tasting tables, tools glinting. Tools path uses those. Halfway reaches for his hats. Magic is available. We need her free quietly. Player picks how. It's not. You may 1 tools, 2 spell, 3 disintegrate in the body. Yes, halfway down by the locks on the tasting table is a quick turn and knife still lace where someone had left them. HR, the interface. Prose doesn't feel like a quiz. Room description implies examine tables, take corkscrew. Always magic, the wizard is there, sometimes tools nearby. Magic, whenever halfway or another caster is present. Imperfect if half magic. Mundane option when the room has tools, furniture, people, environment. Prose establishes presence. Add a solution later by cutting a sentence from the prose. You can't easily embed a corkscrew in the graphic phase if the room never had one. Well, that's not exactly true, but I get it. I want to reveal element. Low situation only hits do everything. Pure story beats, no puzzle. Medium default. Foreshadow objects and magic readiness. Most pearls, shackles, guards, locks. High. Character almost suggest approaches. Teaching half magic. Default medium for the rest of phase 1. Will be stuck always spoiling later. Spoiler amount is how much of that medium the prose you keep. So per phase if prose stays world true. There. Okay. Let's pull up my recent. Okay. We'll paste. Okay, control save. That still doesn't enumerate player options. Hit lines, our choices. And it's like how much to leave to player decision. That is, I shouldn't need to say, maybe I can use some magic here in every scene, because if you're playing halfway or switching, then that will always be available. Thumb. Maybe I can walk over here every room. You show limits or costs when it matters. Do plant obvious mundane options. Don't forget magic, wizard, look, talk, leave, or signaling in the world, special objects, environmental toys, NPC help. With line of dialogue occasionally, first time the half magic fails hard, or a joke, not every lock. Halfway's there. Stone has to have some magic is blocked or otherwise. So, in the case of magic, I might almost never have to mention he's a wizard, and usually adventure game players are pretty smart. So unless, like you said, there's a joke or there's a reason you shouldn't use magic or whatever case may be. But always make sure that I add a description of items in the world that are useful. In this case, however, it might be a suggestion to see if John can find something, pick the locks, maybe over there where they came in tasting of hope. I could suggest using magic here because there are two choices, magic or mundane. Three actual. See why for A choices, but two methods. Yes, that's the right split. Magic almost never announced. Halfway is a wizard. Players will try it. Mention only for joke, risk, don't. First time half magic lesson, useful stuff in the world. always describe at least place it, corkscrew. This beat is a slight exception. You've got two methods: mundane tools versus magic. Expresses three hits. Light and edge is fine. So the tools. Point of the alcove table is where the tools are. One line that tools or magic could work. Lecture the whole spell is keep unlock versus disintegrate on hits only. Example: couch fits what workers quietly as they could. Halfway frowned at the shackles. Stubborn lucks. Might have to find someone to pick them with back at those tasting tables, or I can try a spell. Your choice. Let's see if we can scrounge up from that. Or I can default plant items don't plant magic here. One soft fork tools. Okay, so yeah. Okay, just give me a second here because we got games from scratch. They're always posting something at it's usually about 12 o'clock my time when games from scratch always post stuff and always post stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the text and let's actually finish this page, even though there's not very much in the way of progress. I do have a full hour though because I'm taking my break at 1:30, just because of how late things got. Uh, yes, I need to wake her quietly. Um, Maybe she can win a beauty pageant. I just thought of it just to be funny, not because I do or don't like beauty pageants, but uh, she could have won Miss Sunny Nexus, of whatever year naming convention I'm going with. I can say 5 years running. Of course she is. She's Princess Karen Elspeth. Verdance. Uh, quite possibly the most beautiful woman in all the realms. She she won Miss Sunny Nexus for 5 years running, something like that. Hmm. Let's do something here. Yeah. Instead of just we need to wake her quality, we'll do it a little bit different. The realms. Uh, Let's see. John started to grab for her arm when halfway let's see. What does he? How does he do it? Does he wave it away? Does he push it away? When halfway, put up. Let's see. Let me think. Trying to grab for her arm. Let's see. He reaches down. He reaches down to just grab her arm without thinking, and see this. He has a wand, huh? He doesn't have a staff. I actually gave him a wand. Did I give him a wand or a staff? Neither. I don't think I gave him a staff, so obviously I didn't, but I might have somewhere in the notes. He just usually uses his fingers to cast spells, right? So that means he has neither a wand nor a staff, which is I don't know. I don't. I guess I don't. I don't guess I strictly need a wand. Sure. And the beach was a place to go. Neither, not as his casting focus. Fingers, words, sparkle, costume, spell engine, bag. Hmm. It's just funny that I didn't think to give him a staff or anything like that. He might presumably have a walking stick. I was thinking about that when I'm writing the page here. John tries to grab her arm and somehow halfway blocks it, either by pushing it away, waving his hand away, or using a staff or something to block him from grabbing her outright. It's not a whole magic is already a strong, funny signature. A lot of the wizards default to wand staff. Yours is more memorable without one. A walking stick, perfect middle ground, not a casting focus. Old man practical can also be for walking. Blocks without becoming staff wizard. Side steps between them. Soft half magic. this moment, John starts it might be too forward hand or walking stick reads best. Protective of her, kind to him, not a combat flourish. Yeah, I just odd. I didn't even think of it. Maybe at some point there can be a mention about him not having a staff or anything. You don't think I can like own that some sort of aid? Or some such. Odd. Well, it's odd for me because he's kind of wearing traditional wizard garb, sort of pointy hat, blue cloak, that sort of thing. But you didn't have magic early, so your brain never needed the default wizard kit. That's a feature. A later throwaway line is perfect to keep it light in his voice. You don't think I can walk on my own without some sort of aid? A staff? My boy, I'd only lean on it, and then people would assume I need it. The hats do the work. John offers an arm. I appreciate the thought, but I'm a halfway wizard, not a halfway invalid. Not, not a halfway invalid. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad. That's funny. Uh, Save for when the moment's natural. Tired after stares. John hovering. Someone offers a cane. One line is enough. You don't need a speech about why he isn't Gandalf. Hats cast, legs walk. Optional stick later if you want the block John prop. Okay, thanks. Turning. Let's see. Put up his hand. John then slowly folded his arms as he watched halfway work. Need to wake her up gently, my boy. He She knows me, but she doesn't know you. And she would know because she's visited Enchanted Land several times before, and also halfway is actually known in a lot of the realms and stuff. He's kind of known by everybody, sort of. Not necessarily regular tourists, right? But anybody that's anybody, right? Oh, halfway gently grabbed. We need to wake her up. We'll say it quietly. I'll do the gently in the prose there. Gently grabbed her gold hand and massaged her. See, does he massage her wrist because she's got shackles around? Okay, let me still massage someone's wrists if they have shackles on. I suppose they have to be loose. Yeah, I'm just he kind of looks at him and then he kind of puts his thumb in there. Mostly no, not a real massage with normal tight shackles. Shackles sit in and around the wrist so you can't really rub the skin under the cuff. Metal's in the way. You only reach what's above or below the hand. Not a proper wrist massage. Um, Chief. Avoid full massage unless the shackles are comically loose or already half off. Hmm. Okay. Gently grab your shackled hands. Let's see. So the idea is he's waking her gently. I guess he could rub the palms of her hands until she awakens. Gently rub the palm. Would that work? Kind of like, you kind of do this thing, right? Where it's kind of just like it's like a little circulation thing. He turns up. The cuffs only block the wrist. Gentle rubbing or patting there is classic. Wake them up softly. He doesn't need. Palm rub is clear, kind, and physically fine. Go with it. Okay. Um, her hands would be down, right? They wouldn't be up, or would they be like this? Palms down, palms up. Might be awkward or painful. Um, or palms facing each other. It's just, I don't know. I've never actually really. I mean, I've seen shackles in like movies and TV and stuff in general. I haven't seen like a close up. Like, I don't know really how it works or how it looks and how it feels. So best palms down or just work the backs of the hands, the fingers, that. He could grab her hand and, you know, kind of rub the. She could rub the. He could rub the the back of her hands, like gently, palms down. If she's dozing against the cast, hands in her lap or on her legs, no twisting the irons, rub backs of hands or slide a thumb gently over her fingers. easiest and kindest. Palms up. Possible one hand at a time if he carefully turns it. Feel awkward. Palms facing each other. Your notes often have each limb shackled separately, so your hands needn't be glued palm to palm. Oh, that's actually. Huh. I didn't think of that. That's right. So each hand shackle would have a chain. Um, like prison shackles, right? So honestly, uh, the shackles would have a chain between them, which gives her a way to move her hands a bit. Let's see. Now, there's one um, thing that if I do this, there's a possibility she could slip her arms over the neck of an assailant. You know, like over the thing and then like choking, and then choke them if the chain is long enough. Do this, there's a possibility. So we're still thinking that the bad guys aren't dumb, right? They're gonna just give her a way to be able to get away or whatever, or to subdue her kidnappers or attackers or guards or whatever. So the chain might be short, which case she can't really do that much with them. She can raise her arms, but she can't really do much in the way of. So I probably keep it short, and it would probably still work for the story. The short chain between the wrist cuffs is normal and still lets her move her hands a little. Choke wrist is real only if geometry allows it. While the loop over the neck trick works, needs roughly all of hands in front, not behind the back. Connecting chain long enough to go over head and shoulders, enough freedom to stand, step in, and pull, not snubbed tight to the cast. Okay, assailant close enough and not controlling her arms. So if it's a known prisoner movie beat, but only with loose front restraints. So it's a known prisoner movie beat, but only with a loose front restraints. But you already have limbs at risk. Your setup is initially shackled to the wine cask cradle, not free roaming. That changes everything. Also chained to this cast, you can't fully stand free or walk up to someone. Short wrist to wrist chain, hand span or so. Can rub hands, eat if fed. Hard to loop um, a neck. Cuffs behind the back. Almost no neck loop option. Different problems. Long chain between wrists. Only light tether. Then yes, choke becomes more plausible. Notes also said that the lamb shackled separately with some freedom. That can mean two cuffs, short coupler, longer lead to the cask, not a 2 foot free chain between the wrists. A design that fits the story avoids the exploit recommended. Each wrist cuff, short chain between the cuffs, 6 to 12 inches, enough to clap hands, not enough to lasso a neck easily. Separate chain from one cuff or belt ring to the cast cradle so that she stays put. Then halfway can hold rub hand. She can shift, maybe cover her face. She can't casually groat, whatever, the guard without free movement she doesn't have. If you want her dangerous when free of the cast, but not while locked, the cast tether is the real restraint. The wrist chain is just coupling. For your scene, you don't need to explain choke theory. If anyone ever asks in the world, short chain enough to be miserable, not enough to strangle but help, or never mention it. The geometry doesn't work. Yeah, I'm not going to mention it. I want it, like I said, I have to have I have to have a logicality. I have to go, every chance, you know, I always watch, there's numerous shows where you just go, well, why don't they just do this? Why don't they just, pull out the gun? Why don't they just use the magic? Why don't they use, uh, why don't they grab something? Or, why don't they just whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm kind of going, well, I got to make this believable and plausible. She needs to be restrained and restrained better than she was initially. Initially, it was just ropes, which probably would have been the same way, but because they're ropes, the mice were able to chew through the ropes, right? Never mentioned. Okay. Yes. Hmm. You could actually rotate her hand, or more correctly, halfway, would actually rotate her hands palm up, um, as long as there is enough slack in the chain, which there would be even if it's short. For instance, 12 inches. 12 inches, that's that probably could make it 8 inches, it could make it 10 inches. It doesn't really matter that much. Uh, Palms up is easy. You're only rotating the forearm, you're not needing a huge arc of free chain. 12 inches about hand span to a bit more, enough to rest hands, palms down in her lap. Turn one hand palm up for halfway, bring hands somewhat together. Still usually isn't enough or comfortable over the head neck loop on a standing adult, especially if she's also snubbed to the cask. He can lift one shackled hand and turn it palm up, or work the fingers without fighting the irons, as long as the cuff isn't tortuously tight on the bone and the chain to the cask is yanking that arm short. You don't need measurements on the page. I wouldn't put that anyways. She turned her hand gently, palm up, rubbed her fingers till her eyes fluttered. Hmm. You do like a deal, right? Like you're holding the hand and you're using the thumbs to rub the back of the hand. Um, or optionally, of course, he takes one of her hands in both of his and uses his thumbs to gently massage the back of her hand until she awakens. Does that sound logical? I'm just running over the options in my head, trying to find one that seems more reasonable than the other. More logical than the other? I don't know. More reasonable. Hands free, even with cuffs on. No need to rotate the wrist or fight the chain. Both of his hands cupping one of hers. Gentle, grandfatherly, careful thumbs on the back of the hand is normal, comforting. Fits shackles. Short chain. Best default. Okay. Gently grabbed one of her shackled hands in both of his and started to massage the back of the hand with his thumbs. Princess. 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 He started to stir and slowly opened her eyes. Let's see. He was about to cry out when she looked between halfway and John, who was standing up behind him. When she was about to cry out, John nodded his head and put his finger to his first. Oops. Would we search for tools if these locks, or should attempt some magic? Should I attempt some magic? My less than stellar record. Okay. Try and pick the locks, and we'll leave that. Hit 2 to have you cast an unlock spell on your shackles. Cast an unlock spell. Hit 3 to have you cast disintegrate. Disintegrate. Tools, auto check. Right. Boy, this is a long page though, isn't it? Or is it? Hit 0 to quit. Okay. So now, wait. Shackles. Shackles. Okay. Now read the page after I've modified it. Let's see. Okay, so I got about half an hour. And solid page, rescue spine lands, patches, slit, rhyme rack, door, bottle of guard, wake her, fork, what's working, torch, non-magic, matchstick bit is pure halfway. Yeah, so we're just going to because okay, so there's two things. One is they need a light source for one thing. For the other thing is you can't have torches like going the whole time. I mean, you could if there were magic, maybe they're magic torches, which is possible. Uh, it just shows that they don't do everything with magic, even though they can, I guess. Um, and the other thing is that there's a layer of dust, so there might not be that dust if the torches were always burning. Maybe there might still be though. I don't know. John's conscious after the collar. Block on grabbing her arm. She knows halfway, not John. Hand wait with both hands. Thumbs back. Soft choice line. Tools versus magic. Hit split. Unlock. Disintegrate. Miss Sunny Nexus is fun. Brochure satire. Um, yeah, because essentially, okay, like I don't even need this in there. It's just a fun character thing. But essentially, uh, halfway is like, I mean, she should be. She won this beauty pageant for 5 years in a row. She's probably considered the most beautiful woman in all the realms. Like he should already know, even though he knows John hasn't been there before. It's just like it's almost like everybody should know. Like he's stating the obvious, right? John's stating the obvious that she's beautiful, and of course he's like, of course she is. That's Princess Karen Elspeth about Verdant. Miss Sunny Nexus is fun brochure. Okay. Oh, SCH. Okay. I didn't realize. Okay. Uh, next. Where's next? Next. Okay. Got it. Fixed. One of her shackled hands. Okay. Um, one of her hands. Her hands. Both of his and started to massage the back of it. Started to massage the back of it with his thumbs. Salute when her she looked to be doing halfway. John was standing. She's about to cry out. John nodded. shook his head. Shook his head, not nodded. And actually, he should have picked that up, but shook his head. Put his finger up to his first lips. Oh, yeah. He were right halfway. Because I just copied these over, and I should really learn to fix that. This bird, uh, this bird halfway. My less than stellar record. This bird halfway. Okay. Optional polish, lifeless heap, limp heap, crumpled heap. Lifeless heap, lifeless heap, lifeless. Particularly. Wow. Give it a shot. Snuck. Snuck is a word, isn't it? It's the past tense of sneak. New window. Snuck is the past tense of sneak. Yes, snuck is the past tense of and past participle of sneak alongside with the regular form sneaked. Origin sneak was the original considered 1500s, while snuck emerged in late 1800s in American English. John sneaked up. John snuck up. John sneaked up. Okay. John sneaked up. Okay, we'll say sneaked. I think. Sneaked up. And clobbered him with the bottle. Fell down in a heap. Princess was fine, or Karen, since he knows her. One rack, could be later. Block the rotating plinth. One word later, swing inward is fine for now. Mm. Refill. It's about the typos plus halfway. Oh, princess. Just because, it's, she's, I guess, technically royalty, and it's a sign of honor. It's a We'll say sign of honor, I guess. Also rank in front of Johnny just blurts out how she looks. She can offer her name later if you want her more meat. Okay, so take a read over it now. Let's see what it says. This is in good shape, ready to leave and move on. Working well. One of her hands and both of his. Okay. Title capital, yeah. Quietly, my boy. Original blocks, it still says. Wait. What? There's nothing that should say Hebert now. Yeah, Hebert. Anything under original is original. That is, the event pass used Hebert. And I'm just converting the prose to halfway or Herald, depending. Yes. Okay. So I guess a little bit one of her hands in both of his. Drop the comma. Princess Karen. Yeah. Quietly. She knows me, but she doesn't know you. Okay. So let me read this through and then decide if I need to shorten it. Honestly, I should be working on the next thing, but that's just, I guess, the way that goes. I went down. I could see fairly well from the torches. However, there were numerous cobwebs and dust everywhere, which suggested it hadn't been used in a while. Some sort of magic? Asked John. Don't be silly. We don't always have to use magic for certain, shall we say, modern conveniences. Now, this very mechanism works much like your matchsticks. Okay. Let's go ahead and we're gonna Control C and underneath that, because I'm gonna modify that a little bit. Your matchsticks. Most likely happened with the opening of the secret I went down around to the right till I completely turned around. Till they were completely turned around. I'll say completely turned around. I don't need the other way because that's implied. I say As they approached the wall, the hallway widened out and terminated in a small room, enough to fit a few people side by side. After standing for a minute or two, they're standing for a minute or two, they saw a door in front of them with a small slit. If we peered inside and could see some of the tables with cheese, some empty glasses, a few other items that suggested it was a tasting alcove. As soon as let's see. Have a look. John. John looked. Let's have a look. Let's do a gesture only just because I don't want to write dialogue here. I hate I hate the dialogue format. I hate writing dialogue. I just hate the happen to know, how should I write it? Should I write run on? Should I do a new thing? Halfway stepped aside and gestured for John. Gestured to John. John looked into the slit and noticed that a guard was a ways down the corridor. Um, okay, let's do it like this. Shoot. Deleted something and then I should have just copied the whole thing as it was, but that's okay. Whatever is whatever. Uh, let's actually put this back to its own deal. John looked in the slit. And noticed the guard was that must be the same guard we saw in the window. In the upstairs. Indeed. Indeed. Well, I'm not as young as I used to be. You think? I was gonna say be a deer, but he wouldn't say be a deer to him. I was gonna say, would you mind? Oh, indeed. Well, indeed. Well, I'm not as young as I used to be. Would you mind pulling the door open? Okay, I'll give it a shot. John started pulling on the hammer, but to his surprise, it swung inward easily. Both halfway and John stepped through. On the other side of the door was a wine rack. Um, to secure the passage. John quietly pulled the door. The wine rack. Closed the door. Okay. Now this still seems a little bit long to me. Okay. Try rereading page. I modified it a bit. This reads cleaner than the last past improvements. Torch explanation tighten. No long chemistry lecture. Halfway steps aside. John peeks. Clear staging. Age line moves to after they see the guard. Better rhythm. John closed the wine rack door. Good. Princess Karen capitalized. Quietly, my boy. And message line fixed. It's still halfway. Tools versus two magics. Still solid. Fast. Okay. Turning toward their left. Turning to their left. Luckily. But it was luckily. Okay. Turning to their left. Okay. Turning to their left. Princess. Well, fine, luckily. Replied, comma. Luckily he didn't hit him that hard. But I don't envy the headache he'll have when he awakens. A good. I don't want that on my conscience. And we'll capitalize that just as a little. That. Even if he is the bad guy. Trailing scrap after original old torch paragraph. That scrap. If it's okay. Oop. Escape. All right. I think that's good. I wonder if there is. Let's see. Accept these shall we say minor conveniences? No, this very mechanism is much like your magics. Most likely happened with the opening of the secret passage. Down at one around to the right. After a minute, Okay, so we're gonna here Control X. We're going to Control B. After a minute, the door emerged. The dim torchlight. When I peered inside, could see some tables, other items. It was for tasting. I stepped aside, gestured to John. John looked into the slit and noticed the guard was down the corridor. That must be the same guard we saw upstairs. Indeed. Well, not as anything seems to me. Would you mind pulling the door open? Okay, I'll give it a shot. I started pulling the handle, and to his surprise, it swung inward. But to his surprise, it swung inward easily. Both of them stepped through. Both of them stepped through. On the other side of the door, a wine rack appeared to be attached. On the side of the door, appeared to be attached in order to obscure the passage. John quietly pulled the wine rack closed. Quietly pulled on the wine rack and closed the door. Closed the door. And closed the door. Looking in the wrong direction. As John sneaked up and clobbered him with the bottle. Uh, and he fell down. And he fell down in a heap. Did I kill him? Examined him. Bend over the body, examined him. and then replied, what time is it? Oh, okay, it's about time for me to go now. You didn't hit him that hard. I don't envy it. In the morning, when he awakens. But you didn't hit him that hard. But I don't envy the headache he'll have when he awakens. Good. Great. Good. I don't want that on my conscience, even if he is the bad guy. Okay. Attempted to shorten it. Give me a final assessment, and then I have to break for about an hour. Still there. Unused passage, torch joke, slit door, wine rack, conceal, bottle, KO, conscience. Tighter, shorter, discovery, clobber sentence, halfway's exam line, less staging, chatter. Knit. Door appears, halfway peered inside. Then John uses the slit with a small slit on the door. So the first peek is clear, not required for play. Um, Earth, small slit. Uh, I'm unclear if you by line 5 change. Can you explain it a little there? Come on. He just door it and looking through it in this order. Halfway, a door appears. He peered inside. No slit mentioned yet. Oh. The slit shows up only when John looks, even though halfway already saw the alcove the same way. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uh, After a minute, a door emerged in the dim torchlight. A slit. After a minute, a door with a slit emerged in the dim torchlight. Okay. Fixed, I think. Right. Guess I fixed it. Appears inside. John looks in the slit. Same feature for both. Drop the comma. Okay, I'm good. I'll be back in about an hour. You? So, I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, whatever, or even on the VOD later on. And I will see you in about an hour, for about another hour's worth. So, yeah. Thank you for watching part one. I'll see you in an hour.